Okay. Good morning, good evening, um, good noon to all the traders around the world. Welcome to RAFX Global Trading Room. In this video, in this broadcast, I will be reviewing my charts and uh, what do we have? So first we have to check the dollar index because we are or I am trading the forex market, and then I will also take a look on my current position. Do I need to um, exit? Do I need to change my stop loss and so on and so forth? So basically the stuff that I do to manage my position. So I am also going to check the calendar, and then we will check if we do have major news. Okay, and then we will also visit the EVC. What's the value of it? So as you all know, I am a trader from the no nonsense forex, and the FXBIX or the EVC index is one of our gates to check the risk, the amount of risk that we need to expose. Okay, so again, before anything else, this is just a disclaimer that whatever you hear, whatever you see in this broadcast is part or based on my experience as a forex and global trader on those um, markets. So I am focusing on FX, oil, silver, um, what else? Uranium and cryptos. But I this is not a show wherein you should buy or sell blindly based on the assets that I will be reviewing in here. So please again do your due diligence because trading and investing in these assets is very risky, and most of the trader and investors lose their money. So if you are not yet sure on how to do, please spend some time to learn the market, how the market works, and what are the trading strategies that will work for you. So yeah, so that being said, the advantage of those is you can be on your own during market chaos. You don't have to ask social media what to do with your position or which asset to uh, to buy or sell, because you know your strategy and you know what strategy already um, works for you based on your personality and based on the testing and research that you have done. Okay, so that's a long intro in there. And the first in our list is, of course, the DXY, or the Dixie. They call it the Dixie. And this is the dollar index because we are trading the Forex market here as our major uh, trading asset. And okay, based on the chart, the recovery of dollar is still ongoing after the price went above the 50 baseline, and right now, 2 days ago, it just bumped into that 200 baseline, and it seems that the price was not unable to continue its ascension here. So that being said, since the price is still below our 200 baseline, the US dollar is still considered as on a downtrend based on this chart. Okay. Next is we'll check our calendar via Forex Factory, and let's just filter this one with what are the high impact news that we have today is March 11. So for March 11, we have two for euros. One is the monetary policy statement, and the next one is the ECB press conference. So I think in this case, I'm still good on those high impact news that is listed here because I am more interested if, or I usually avoid if I have the interest rate hikes, unemployment, those type of major news. But in this case, I don't see any reason to avoid euro in case that I need to take a trade based on the review and the management that we are going to take on my current position. So now the next one is to check the EVC chart, and the value of it is 6.89. So this is still way, this is just telling us that we need to expose around half uh, of our exposure. If I am using 2%, then on the trades I will only expose 2% because, I mean, 1%, because the EVC is in 6.89 value today, meaning we don't have that enough volatility or volume in forex space in this case. So once we have this number goes up to 7, then that's the time we are again would expose ourselves into full risk, which is 2% in my case. And that will be if in case I do have a new position. But for my current trades and current positions, I will stay them until I clearly out based on exit signal or stop loss being hit. uh, yeah, that's usually what happens in here. So that's the basic like uh, first things that I am checking before uh, visiting the or visiting my trade position and taking into trade. Those are the considerations that we look. So we list it. So for example, in the calendar, I know that in my case I don't have to avoid the euro because it's not my I'm not concerned about those two major news. But sometimes the forex factory and the FX book major um, calendar has different uh, value or content. So I'm checking my FX calendar using FX book in my phone, and today is Thursday. Okay, so the major news listed here aside from the two uh, oh, and now it is a ECB interest rate decision for the euro and deposit rate decision as well. Okay, so I think now I will change my source of uh, calendar. I will stick to my FX book so that we can have the majority of the uh, high impact news covered. Okay, so yeah, I think I will edit my program format. So instead of looking into Forex Factory, I will use my FX book app for calendar. Calendar. Okay, and also on the flow, I will need the calendar. Okay, yeah. So since I've already done that for now, then the next thing is we will start our trade review and management. So this in this part of this broadcast, I will show you what are my current position, what I usually do, how I enter into that trade, those type of things. And sooner, if you are going to follow me on my everyday journey in this space in the forex and stock market on global and local space, then you will know how I trade those assets as well. So let's get into our chart. Okay, so the first in my position is AUDJPY. So for AUDJPY, I am still up, and this one here is just my second trends, because as you all know, I am entering the trade based on two tranches. So one is once it hit the 1 hour, I closed it and probably moved my stop loss so that we cannot lose any money in that trade, and then just let it ride based on the trend follower or based on the trading strategy that I am using. And then yeah, that's it for my AUDJPY. And I usually check the 4 hour for my exit signal, and in any case, if I do find an exit signal here in the long bias is not yet valid, then I'm trying to exit. But I realized yesterday that I think it would be better to also just stick first in the daily as my signal as well, because when I revisited the the back testing, I noticed that the higher the time frame, it removes all the noises. So meaning sometimes the 4 hour is telling you that you need to exit, but on the on the daily chart it is still a good to hold your position. So since we are a trend trader, I'd like to test this one in my active or in my forward testing on a live account to use instead of 4 hours, and I will be using the daily chart to have my exit. Okay, so the next in my active position, so again for the IUD I will still hold it until I see any exit signal in here. So next is NCD JPY. So still I am still up for NCD JPY, and the two tranches trade that I have here is still impact or intact. And based on the daily chart, I don't see any reason for this to to exit yet, because all things are good. It is up, and yeah, I think the reason why I did not use the 1 hour here is because it's too tight for that one. And as you can see, it's almost uh, hitting my 1 hour, and once it's go there, I will exit my first trend as long as we are also having a good sign that no exit signal is showing yet. So the thing to do on this position is to hold it. So next is CHF JPY. So CHF JPY is still a good trade because I am up, and I don't see any reason to exit here, because the indicators are still showing me or still telling me that I need to hold my position. Okay, so if we confirm that, let's try to confirm if we will see on the lower time frame in the 4 hours. So this one here is the buy stop in the trend follower indicator, which means that a possible trend going up will continue. And as you can see, the price in the 4 hour time frame also stayed in that baseline, so meaning we are still good to go on or good to hold this position. And for the confirmation one, although it is showing here that we need to sell, but the confirmation 2 is of course still heading to that um, sell zone. But again, until these indicators deteriorate that will tell me to exit, then I will exit. So for now, um, I will still hold this position. Next is NCD CHF. So I'm still good. I'm still long in this, and based on the indicators in the daily chart, I will still hold this position as well. So for NCDCHF, the two tranches is still intact, so no worries for me today. And yeah, and based on that, we are still good to holding, because one, that buy stop there is still good, although we are on a high level sort of overbought here. But the confirmation 2 is still telling us you need to stay, because I will try my best to stay on this buy zone. So once these indicators deteriorate and majority, or at least 2-1 of it tells me that we need to exit, then we need to close the trade. And of course, we are also monitoring if the price will be on our 1 R, but in this case we don't have it yet because the 1R is in 0.6745 and 8. So once we hit there, the first tranche will be closed and probably will move the stop loss into the profit level, which will be, I think, here, so that we will not be able to lose any money on this trade as well. So next is GBP CAD. So for GBP CAD, I'm still up in this position, and based on the indicators, I'm still good to stay on this trade because I'm still up and the price is still above the baseline. We are still good on buy stop and no sell stop is showing yet. And then confirmation 2 is also in the buy zone, and confirmation 1 is trying to get back on the upper zone as well. So I think this is good to stay on this trade to maximize our trend following strategy. Okay, so the next one is Euro AUD. So Euro AUD, I am short here, but I am still in profit because the price is currently below on this line. And do I need to exit? I think no, because my indicators are still showing that there's still a possibility that the price will deteriorate down here. So why? Because the price is still below the 50 baseline. The sell stop is still good, and then confirmation 1 just recently give us a sell signal, which is a reason that there's a probability that it will continue. And of course, the confirmation 2 is still in the sell zone. So in since those parameters are telling me that the price may still go lower, then of course I will hold the position to maximize that profit. So yeah, that's it. So I think we have that. And let's check my position with oil. Okay, so for oil, I think I'm still up, so I will need to update the chart later because I almost forgot my entry here. I think I accidentally removed the white line, but if I check my position, I'm still currently 19.12% up as of the moment. Okay, so yeah, and based on the indicators, I may exit if this will continue to deteriorate. But of course, uh, TDI, although confirmation is telling me to exit, but confirmation 2 is trying to hover in this sell zone, so I will um, hold this trade because there's a probability that it will go back in here and continue to up. So I did not review any oil news today, so I think I will also include that in my program review. So the next one is, oh, by the way, oil is up today at around 0.38%, so which is good on my position. So next is the silver. So silver is now on its third day ascent, and as you can see, the what you call this one, confirmation 1 just gave me a buy signal, which is a good one, and the confirmation 2 is also trying to get back into the um, uh, buy zone. So remember that in silver, I am a long-term investor here because I believe in the next um, 2 to 5 years, the price of this metal will appreciate based on the research or on the person that I follow. Okay, so the next one is uranium. So uranium, I have two uranium positions. So this is in the equities because obviously we don't, or we can't hold, or we can't bring uranium, actual uranium in our home. So yeah, we can't do that. So for us to get exposed and have an exposure and probably get some profit, we need to buy mining stocks that have at least majority of their mining is in uranium space. So I got one which is BHP stock, which is listed in Australia stock market, and also Chemical in here, which is uh, another mining that is listed in the US. So both CCJ last night is up 2.22%, while BHP is down uh, 1.70%. But if you notice, um, sorry, I need to remove this because this is not for trade. So if you notice, it is still up, still on the uptrend, and it is recovering in this uh, trend line. So I believe there is a probability that in the coming days it will continue to bounce up to create a next higher high in here, and that would be followed by that. So of course, again, that is just a probability, and we don't know the exact uh, value or the exact situation or scenario that will happen in the next coming days. All we need to do is guide ourselves based on the skill and the knowledge that we have on technical analysis. So the next one is, yes, I also have uh, BTC, which is Bitcoin. So I think we are good, and trying the Bitcoin is trying to get back on this level. Okay, so I'm trying to check if we are still good on the chart. Okay, so on this level, and then we're good. So I have two exposure in BTC. One is the major, which is stored in my eToro account. The other one is the mini Bitcoin, which is in my Wanda account. This one um I think very lucky, may say, because I was able to get a good price in mini Bitcoin. So I am up some from here until that. So that is around how many pips currently? So that's 180 pips as of the moment. So my position is still good, and I will continue to hold it until, yeah, I think until I see the price deteriorates that much. So for now, all indicator is telling me to stay and hold. So I will do that as well. So those are my position uh, as well. But I also have, I forgot my position in XRP USD as well. So this is another um, trade that I took in the crypto space, and as of the moment I am down because the price is below on that um, white line, which is my entry price, and I think based on the indicator I need to exit today. If this one here continues to enter in that zone, then I will exit, and that price will go into this position, into this level, which broke below the 50 baseline. Then I will also exit in there. So I will check the other one, which is what you call this one, the Litecoin. I also have this, so let me put it in my active trade so that I will not forget it when we are reviewing my crypto positions and trade. Okay, so for Litecoin, I am still up, obviously, because my entry price is in here, and according to my indicators, I am still good to hold because the price is still above baseline. Buy stop is still good, no sell stop is showing, and then it just showed the buy indicator in my confirmation, and we also have the confirmation too in the buy zone, so I will still hold this trade in Litecoin. So that's it for my current uh, trades. So the management, I just explained to you how I manage it. So next is in the chart review. So the basic that we are going to do is we will try to see if in this set of assets there is an opportunity for us to get in to trade using these indicators. So let's start with forex. So AUD CAD is still in an uptrend, and basically um, um, it continues moving higher. And then if you are going to take it, if I'm in the situation we're in, I because right now I don't want to get in into new trades because I my trading position capacity is already full as of the moment until I close some of those. That's the thing that, or that's the time that I will add or trade any position. But in the uh, for the for the purpose of explaining how I do my trades, so this is how I do it. So on a daily chart, I check what is the trend. So in this case, it's still uptrend because the price is above the 200 baseline, but it is below the uh, the 50 baseline. But since it is trying to rebound on this level, I will check the 1 hour if it if it gives me a good entry trigger. So in this case, I think let's start with the trend forward, which is good. We have the buy stop and the price already in the upper above the 50 baseline. Confirmation 2 is in the buy zone, buy signal rather, and the confirmation 2 now is in the buy zone, which is a good entry trigger for me. Now that I have a good entry trigger, I will check my 4 hour to see where should I put my stop loss. So in this case, my stop loss should normally in the buy stop, uh, and then that would be instead of moving that, because there's a possibility that the price will just visit that and will come back. So I will give it a little room for the price to confirm the invalidity of that position. So that's the reason why I put my stop loss below that buy stop indicator. So another good position, I think, if you'd like to be more safe, is to put that stop loss in here. But the reason why I put it just a few pips below that buy stop is that it will give me a good risk reward ratio. So for example, I am going to enter now after I calculate my risk, then the probability that my entry price will be here. Okay, so this is just a simulation, and then see that that would give us a good risk reward ratio versus if this stop loss will be here. As long as you follow your risk calculation, then you are good. Okay, so that's it. So hopefully that would help you on how I read the chart and how I enter my trade. Then let's go with the next pair. So for AUD CHF, I will pass this one because although the price or this pair is in uptrend because price is above 250 baseline, it's already too far from the market structure. The market structure is usually uh, support and resistance or any dynamic support or resistance in your technical tool. But in my case, my market structure base is this one, the 50 baseline and the 200 baseline. So if the price is too far from those market structure, I will just skip it. So the next pair is AUD JPY. As you all know, we reviewed this earlier. But if I'm out of this trade, meaning if I don't have any position in this trade, I will skip it as well because it's too far from the baseline. So AUD NCD, it's still the 50 baseline that we are waiting to cross. The 200 baseline is not yet complete, so we are going to skip it and just uh, review or check it on a day-to-day basis if the uptrend or the trend for this pair will be completed. So CAD CHF, we will skip it as well because the price is already far from the market structure, which is the 50 baseline in this particular case. Next would be the CAD JPY, and the same as the previous one, the price of CAD JPY is too far from the 50 baseline, although the trend is still an uptrend. I am not going to get into this trade because of that reason. So next is CHF JPY. So CHF JPY, I also have this position, but if I don't have any trade on this, my analysis in here is on this level, it started to recover, trying to uh, reclaim the trend. So the next thing to do is check if, so let's say we have a position in here or that scenario in there, then we will visit the 1 hour. It will give us a entry trigger. So in this case, from that position, we are not yet complete until this case here. So this is our one indicator for entry trigger, and yes, the confirmation to give that, but the confirmation 2 did not agree with us yet until such time in here. So that's the time that we need to, no, that's actually not the case yet. So here, because the 50 or the confirmation 2 is officially in the buy zone because the value is 50.038. So that's your official entry trigger, and then this one here is your stop loss. So that's it for CHF JPY. So Euro AUD is in a downtrend, and if I am going to enter it today, I will not consider entering it because the price is already way far from the baseline. Euro CAD also in a downtrend. Actually, it just started last or confirmed its downtrend on February 3, but at current price, the price is already too far from the baseline. So I think the good time to short this is when this price goes back up to that 50 baseline as my market structure. So at this point, we will skip it. Next is Euro CHF, the same. The trend is up, but the price is too far from the baseline, so we will skip this one as well. Euro GBP. For Euro GBP, the trend is downtrend, but the price is too far from the market structure, so we will skip this as well. Euro JPY is um, uptrend, but the price is already far from the baseline, so I will not consider trading this one as well. Euro NCD, the same. I think I am waiting for the price to go back into that's market structure there. So I think let's remove that flag. Okay. So for GBP CAD, so again, I am on this trade and it's in the third ascent of recovery from the 50 baseline. So I may consider to enter into this trade if I don't have any position yet. And what will be my guide? That would be my 1 hour time frame, because this is where I set my entry trigger. So in this case, it is in the complete entry trigger because on the trend follower, the price is above the 50 baseline. The buy stop is already complete, and the confirmation just give us a buy signal in here, and the confirmation 2 is now above the 50, which is considered the buy zone. So this is a good entry trigger. So once I have that, then I will go to my 4 hour time frame to set my stop loss. In this case, my stop loss is actually this red line. So which is, I think this is the reason why I entered it here last March 10. Okay, so the next pair is GBP-CHF. So obviously the price is too far from the baseline, so we are going to skip it. But as an analysis, the trend is still on an uptrend. For GBP-JPY, also the same. We have the price too far from the baseline, so we'll just skip it. And GBP-AUD, it is trying to cross the 200 baseline, but it was unable to do it. So I think this one is a good candidate for short. So how we are going to trade this one is to visit 1 hour time frame and see if it will give us a good entry trigger. So it does actually have, because the price is below the 50 baseline and the sell stop is in here, and the confirmation just give us as well a sell signal, and the confirmation too is in the sell zone. So this is a good entry trigger based on my uh, trading strategy. So once I have that entry trigger, I will go to the 4 hour time frame to set my stop loss. So again, just like any other stop loss, I usually check that buy stop and put my stop loss below it. So that would be my stop loss if I will have to trade this pair. And then so when I'm on it, then the next thing to do is manage it on a day-to-day basis if you have to exit or your stop loss was hit, or you have to sell my first trans. Okay, so next on the list is GBP MCD. So for GBP NCD, it's still above the 200 baseline, but the 50 baseline is still below it. So the uptrend is not yet confirmed. So we will just wait and monitor this on a day-to-day basis. So next is NCD CAD. So the same. It's in an uptrend and it's on the third day of ascent. So if I am going to trade this one, I am going to look into the 1 hour if I can have a good entry trigger, which is in this case. So first, in the trend follower indicator, I have the buy stop, which is good. The price is above 50 baseline. Confirmation gave me a good buy signal as well. And then the confirmation tree is now in the buy zone. Then since I have that already as a go signal or as a yes to enter, before I enter it, I will have to check my stop loss. So the stop loss would be on the 4 hour time frame, which is below here. So that would be my stop loss. So once I have my stop loss, I will use my forex risk calculator to speed up my position size. Then once I have that, I will do my entry in tranches. Okay, and then the same cycle will happen. Once I am into this trade, I will monitor it on a day-to-day basis and 4 hour basis if I need to exit or not. Okay. So next pair that is in the list is NCDCHF. So it's in an uptrend, but if you are going to trade it, I suggest that you should wait for the price to come back on this level because it's too far from the baseline already or on the market structure. So the next one is NCDJPY and the same, although the trend is an uptrend, but the price is already far from the market structure, so we will skip it. For the major NCD USD, okay, so it's still in the uptrend and on the third recovery. So I will consider this as a trade if I still have the capacity on my number of trades. But since I don't have any, if in case I have, then the next thing to do is revisit 1 hour time frame. If it will give me a uh, good entry trigger. So now, which is good, one is the buy stop is good, price is above the baseline, confirmation is buy, and confirmation 2 is in the buy signal, then we are good to get into this trade. Once we have that confirmation to entry, then we will set our stop loss in the 4 hour time frame, which in this case, this will be my stop loss here. So once I have that stop loss, I will use my forex calculator, and once I have my position size, I will get into this into two tranches. And then once I have that, I will transfer it into my active list trade and monitor it on a day-to-day basis to manage the trade. Okay, so the next pair is Euro USD. The same, it's actually in the uptrend and it's on the third possible ascend because 2 days of good candle here. The same, I will check if I have a good entry in 1 hour time frame, which is good. The buy stop is good. The price is already up on the baseline. Overflow, overbought, but that's a good thing because that's on that level still. And the confirmation 2 is also good because it's in the buy zone. But for confirmation 1, I think we need to respect this sell signal here. If it will materialize, there's a probability that the price will go back in here, which will give that price that will be on the nearest market structure on this 1 hour time frame. So in this case, you need to wait for this to recover into the buy signal. Okay, so I will unflag it because I don't have any capacity for now to get into the new trade because I am already full. So next is GBP USD. GBP USD is uptrend and the same. It's on the third recovery, but uh, there is a signal that there's a probability that it will go down, or the price will go down because of that sell stop there. So I will skip this one if I am going to trade this. So AUD USD is in an uptrend, and a very good reason to get into this trade is the price is above the 50 baseline, but it will not automatically just buy this one. We need to consult the 1 hour time frame if it will give us the entry trigger. And in this case, we do have a good entry trigger because trend follower is telling us to yes. Confirmation 2 is yes as well, and confirmation 3 is yes. So meaning those three indicators are in confluence. We need That's our entry trigger. So we have our entry trigger. The next step is to identify our stop loss, which in this case is I think on that buy stop, but we will not put our stop loss on that exact location, but a few uh, pips from there. So I think this is a good stop loss. Okay, so once we have that, we'll use our forex position size calculator and enter into tranches. Then put this into the list of active trade and monitor it and manage it on a day-to-day basis. Next is USD CHF. The price is moving back to baseline, but it's not a safe yet because it's in the middle, or it's not a good it will not give you a good risk reward ratio. So yeah, for me, I should wait for the price to get back a little bit closer to the 50 baseline. So the next is USD JPY. So USD JPY is on the uptrend, and the price is above the baseline. So I will skip this one if I am looking for a, a trade opportunity. So that's for our um, FX list, and we also reviewed our oil and silver and uranium positions earlier. So the last set of asset that we need to review is the crypto. So again, I have XRP, Litecoin, BTC, Ether, ADA, Stellar, and Dash as my list of crypto being traded. So let's check it's one of those again. XRP is in the uptrend still, but the price is in the baseline. So I think it's a good opportunity to look for entry trigger. But currently, if you check it, I am seeing a sell signal. So this is not a good time to consider to get in. But as I said earlier, I also have in this position. So maybe after 4 hour and the price goes beyond that baseline, and this will continue to deteriorate going to the sell zone, then I will exit my XRP trade position. Next is the Litecoin. It's an uptrend and the price is already far from the baseline, so I will skip it if I'm looking for a trade opportunity. Next is BTC. So BTC is almost recovered from its all-time high, which is at $58,000, and currently it is trying to correct. So we will see what will happen at the end of the trading session. So still, BTC is in an uptrend, but if you are going to enter, I think you should wait for that price to go back into the market structure, which is in this case the 50 line. Next is Ether. Ether is also still in the uptrend, but the price is far from the baseline and it is trying to uh, go there. So that's the time that I need, or we need to wait for the price to at least go a little bit closer on that baseline for us to check for any entry trigger. So next is ADA. So for ADA, uptrend, although the price is above and way beyond or way too far from the baseline, so we will skip this one as well. So for Stellar, why did I mark it? Because the price yesterday is hovering in the baseline. So I think let's revisit 1 hour time frame if we will have a good entry trigger. But at this point, we don't have any because it is showing a selling pressure. As you can see, the price is moving down because of that sell stop, and the confirmation 2 is also um, sell signal. The confirmation 3 is now complete its entry in the sell zone, so it's not a good time to enter in stellar coin. But we will still continue to monitor it because on the daily chart it's still in an uptrend. Maybe, just maybe, there's a probability that the price will go back along this line here, and once it's happened we will consider to revisit the 1 hour time frame again if the signals there has improved. So the last one in our crypto is dash. So as you can see, it's still in an uptrend, but we need to wait for the price to go back at least a little bit closer in 50 baseline as our market structure. So yep, I think that's it in the 1 hour schedule that I set for my daily global trading room. I think we still have 3 extra minutes, but I'd like to thank everyone for watching. If you just found this recording, then I hope you will get value from it to learn how to trade the global market based on indicators that I am using. So feel free to ask questions in the comments and share it if you want, and continue to monitor my my daily market trading room, both in global and in our local market. So thank you so much, and I'll see you soon, or I'll talk to you soon in my next video tomorrow. Bye.